Hey guys, Jamin here with another Starcraft 2 broadcast, and this is another game with a team game of mine. It's not a professional level cast. I'm going to get to those in a bit, but I'm really enjoying playing Starcraft 2 a lot more than I have been. I'm getting more and more into it as I get better and better, and playing a lot of 2v2. Anyway, so this is a game between Markco and I playing our 2v2 team versus what looks like Wise Mike, the Zerg up here in the top left corner, and Fun Haver in the top left as well, but in the left turn side of the top left, so against the left side of the map. I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going out here to scout a little bit. Do not see the drone, and pylon coming out on a normal timing on 9, and then getting the probe there pretty well timed. Got that down pretty well like that. I did see the drone come on my base, so I immediately changed my scouting direction. Instead of checking cross map and checking up here, I was going to do this check cross map on Marco's idea. I was going to check cross map, and if I showed up there, they might think we were here or up here. But obviously they're cross position. They actually scattered us first, so I was able to determine just from how fast that drone got into my base that they were right next to us. And being that I didn't see him when I hit the tower, he had to have come from up here and just scooted along here. And so that's my idea. So gateway coming down on, I believe, 13, gas coming out. Pretty standard stuff. This is how I play. I really play very heavy macro style. I don't really rush for the, I don't cut any probes to rush for the gateway. And we'll throw up the harvester tab there. There's the income tab. It's going to be pretty prevalent. The tail that we did with the 3v3, the strategy that we tried was, really harass really hard from Markco. And then I build a kind of a normal army to just deal with any kind of aggression that they have. And then, General Edge, he just absolutely dominates with battlecruisers at the end. So we were going to try, we said, well, why don't we just do the same thing, except no battlecruisers. I be both the hammer and the protector at the same time. So that's what we're attempting to do here. And Markco is going for that interesting wall off. I'm not sure exactly what his plan is to finish this wall off against the Zerg. So probe coming back here, defeated. Didn't really get any kills, but did take a couple damage. He is a battle-hardened probe. Factory going down for Funhaver, as well as that. We'll just throw up the production tab while we wait. And you can see, Queen, Zerglings on the way. Nothing too fancy. It's 4 minutes in, nothing crazy. Actually, a little bit crazy. Macro hatch coming out from Wise Mike, deciding, I want to be able to produce larva, and he's going to get 2 queens to really just absolutely dominate on the larva here. So Wise Mike really going to be pushing for Zerglings, it looks like. Again, his extractor now, spawning pool's already complete. This is really going to make his larva efficiency. It doesn't really matter. He doesn't have to be efficient because he's got 2 hatcheries producing larva. And then he's going to have 2 queens making larva on those. So really not going to be limited by larva all that much. A couple Zerglings hanging out over here. And an Overlord hanging out in the middle here. And so there is a my sentry out, my wall off complete with my zealot and a pylon. I'm still not positive on my wall offs. I have to play these maps more to get my wall offs correct. I kind of have to play it by ear as I play the game. I think Markco just scanned and saw that he has a macro hatch. No, he didn't. He just pinged in the middle for no reason. A drone in the middle here checking out what's going on. Overlords hanging out in the area trying to see if there's any kind of mining going on there, but really can't see much, although his other Overlord does see everything. A couple Reapers being built for Markco. Now has 1 Reaper. Let's see how many units are on the field. Only 2 Reapers on the field. 1 Reaper being built. 19 drones. I have 25. Teal has 25, and Purple has 22 drones. So, and Markco going for that early command center as well with the Reapers. Reapers really low on minerals, kind of high on gas for this early in the game. Are going to be the reason that things happen. A couple supply depots going down, going to unblock Markco while he builds more Reapers. Got 3 Reapers now. Only 2 Zerglings and 4 Queens. Back to the production tab, see what's going on. Laird on the way, and looks like Siege Tech on the way for Funhaver. So interesting move here. Bunch of Queens made. A couple more Queens coming out for Wise Mike. He's just kind of spamming the queens. Does have a lair on the way, so this one's going to continue the queen production. Another extractor coming out. Really a lot of drone saturation here. How many drones does this man have? 36 drones, and 5 Reapers right here ready to take out those drones. Look at that sweet icon on their shoulder blades. And here I am moving out, kind of just scaring them with a little bit of pressure. Just hanging out, you know, just doing what I do, and you know, just checking out what's going on. Want to remove any kind of map presence from them, kill that drone, get a couple, you know, get them to produce a couple units. You know, there's Hellions and Reapers on the way from Markco, and they're roaches and siege tanks hanging out. So 2 siege tanks and a couple queens hanging out over here, and I'm just kind of checking out what's going on. So as soon as I see the siege tanks, I just kind of back away. Don't really want that to happen. Throwing down the force fields to block any kind of push from the queens, even though it would take years for them to catch up with no creep. And so there was the push from me. I missed the Reapers coming in here. Did get a bunch of kills. 1 kill here. I can't really check out 3, 2, 3. Not too much. A siege tank here, and another siege tank down here. Going to be able to clean off these Reapers pretty easily. A little bit of back control, but no worries. 1 Reaper going to be able to get up inside the main. It might run right into a siege tank, and does. Runs right into 2 siege tanks and gets taken out. But they did do a ton of damage. Problem is that what is this man? Wise Mike did outproduce drones like a madman. So now he's up to 23 drones. Markco almost sniping that extractor as well. Do see the macro hatch, and did see the mass amount of queens. It was like, what a mass queen, what? So going for a robo bay now, because I figure it'll be nice to do against siege tank and mass queen. And we saw a lot of siege tanks out here. We already saw siege tech. That was a fast siege tech. And so the siege tanks now making their way out, and the queens hanging out on the creep, and just kind of, it looks like they're going to make the trek, trying to make the trek and do a push in here. And siege tanks really going to be a big deal here. Going to completely dominate the middle here. Taking out my scouting drone there. Trying to go for an expansion. As soon as I saw that drone, I believe I do cancel this. There it goes. Cancel the expansion. Don't think I can save it with this many siege tanks set up and getting my units back into this concave kind of here. These siege tanks, it's always hard to gauge how many siege tanks there are. Am I getting an observer? There's the observer. And here they come. So a couple Marines coming up here. I'm going to check out what's going on. Going to try to kill some Marines real quick and then back out. Nope. Going to go for the kill and attack this line. Going to get 1, 2, 3 siege tanks, but losing that whole army there. It's pretty ridiculous. And the queens and a couple Marines coming up as well. And a couple siege tanks in the low HP. Funhaver not doing the best on macro. That's 1,500. Not building more tanks. Really should have more tanks coming out. 2 Marines coming up here to check out what's going on. 1 Marine just hanging out. Going to shoot them back. And these Marines now have 1 kill. And this Reaper going to get his just desserts there. Siege tanks now moving up. They don't have sight of the high ground. So these siege tanks are blowing those Reapers up when they try to jump down. And the Queen's about to get up there to see the high ground. There's the scan to show the high ground as well. And I believe Markco just did a raid on this man's base and killed a ton of drones, but I missed them. Queen's marching on into the base. 1 Roach taking out that tech lab, raising the barracks, and the Queen's just absolutely avoiding it. And the Observer now out to check out how many siege tanks there actually are. A couple Roaches coming in here to reinforce these siege tanks. And now the Zealots coming out here want to fight these siege tanks. Saw the Roaches backed off. Didn't want that to happen. Siege tank up here checking out what's going on. Making sure nothing else gets in this mineral line. And really just 9 drones left for Wise Mike because of Markco's harassment. But Markco's base is just absolutely not in a great place because of these Queens that are just transfusing like mad. But of course the Queens are dealing the damage they need. A couple Zealots in here. They do have charge, and they do have... Do they have +1? I can't click on a Zealot. There it is, +1 attack, or no, +1 armor dealing with these. So 2 armor on these Zealots, 2 armor on these Stalkers, attacking these Queens with no energy left, and just kind of bouncing out there. So a couple creep tumors set up here to deal with this. Queens still in the main, but you know, you can't chase down buildings because they're super fast versus a queen. And so a couple overlords hanging out over here, and Markco sending his natural all the way down here. Going to try to expand down here. Did kind of lose his main, but still has his command centers. So not a too terrible deal, and 1,300 minerals kind of saved up. So now going to push in here with the Overlord, or excuse me, the Immortal, and a couple Zealots, and finish off this group of units. So if we look at the units lost tab, we have the resources lost. I'm at 4,175. Purple is at the lowest at 2,500, but and is coming in with 4 more siege tanks. Zealots hanging out here. Do see the siege tanks probably going to want to back out. Oh man, on creep tumors, you do not want to be there with a Zealot. Immortals. Bunch of Zealots warping in here, going to try to deal with these roaches, but the roaches are pretty fast, especially with those Hellion backup. Really good against Zealots. Siege tank Hellion going to be really good against these Zealots. Immortals here do hang out. DT Shrine is complete. And see what else is in the production tab. Oh, close the production tab. +1 ground weapons as well as Blink, and then Immortals also on the way. And it looks like 5 DTs now out on the field, and going to be coming over here to clean up this. And Markco just dropping all those mules over at the over here, going to get him immediately back in that game. Man, are mules overpowered or what? The DT's cleaning up this mess. The scan goes down, but the Hellions do get taken out, and now the DTs have cleaned up this assault. A couple Hellions coming in here to try to deal what's going on, and the DTs are hanging out. Overseer morphing in. These DTs are being looked at by these Hellions. The scan goes down. Does not want those DTs to get sniped. 2 DTs hanging out here. Overseer is there, and quickly morphs that into an Archon. I morphed it into an Archon really quickly. As soon as I saw that, I only had 2 DTs left, and one was almost dead. Wanted to be actual to deal with these Hellions. And now the Archon morphed in. Super Archon do damage, and there's the Archon going away with 86 life. Gonna kill that final Hellion. Baller Archon morphs in. Did you know that if you have 2 Hellions and a Roach attacking an Archon while it morphs in, it can kill them all when it comes out? Pretty baller. And so, you know, they got the Archon here. Got a probe going out here because I am out of minerals. I keep hearing mineral field depleted, as I go along. So I'm saying, oh well, I have 1,300 minerals. Need to deal something with that. So my macro not doing the best. Income wise, who's doing the best? Looks like Purple's doing the best with 1,100. Funhaver being a baller. And still got a siege tank Hellion mix with a couple Marines in there. Probably could go air against this. The Nidus Worm did pop up over here, but to no avail. Doesn't really matter when you put a Nidus Worm up there. I'm going to be taking out this Overlord. A Dark Templar is in the mix to deal and see if maybe, hopefully, they don't have detection and I can attack. Just kind of roaming around the map, you know, Zealots, Immortals, Archons, Blink Stalkers versus siege tank Hellion really is what we're looking at. Teal's not been in this game for a long time. Roaches and Queens are here, but his Harvester count was absolutely obliterated by Markco. Markco's Harvester count also obliterated. He was down to 0. Now he's being scouted, and look at these Hellions just coming in here to roast and have fun. Funhaver just absolutely taking out Markco's base, just saying no way, no how. And luckily I have a large surplus of forces in order to do that. And if you see that, if you select your probes when they have minerals and you hit C, they'll return to the base and then go back immediately to the mineral patch they last mined from. Same with gas, they'll do the same thing. Markco now flying his command center away. He doesn't want that to be destroyed. Now has to find a new spot for this command center. Is still mining from here, but not as efficiently as he wants to. And so I am now going to say, well, Markco, if you're not going to expand your own natural, I will take your natural. And right here, I am just absolutely being a baller with my small army of awesome. So a couple siege tanks up here. Let's look at the units tab. What we're looking at looks like 3 Banshees out on the field. Banshees coming out as well as Cloak is complete. if it's not being researched right now, looks like it is complete. So 2 more Banshees on the way, as well as siege tanks, and yeah, just siege tanks and Banshees, so anti-ground to the max. Immortals, Stalkers, Dark Templar, and Archons here, kind of my counter. And so the Medevac's now out for Markco, going to be doing that drop harass. And it looks like this game is going to be is kind of reset. And oh man, almost forgot to mention that I DC'd. My internet shut off halfway through this game, and so I called Markco immediately and said, "Attack! I had a good army." So I said, "Attack!" And so the Archon's going out there to deal with this, going up front, absorbing the damage. Those Hellions doing a number on those Zealots, though. Excuse me. Immortals in the back, absolutely decimating that army, and this army is looking awesome. The Zealots now being kited by these roaches, going to clean up these Zealots, these roaches are, and the Stalker Immortal Archon army. Archon's being sniped by the Banshees. Markco is controlling all of these because I am not in the game anymore, but he is getting my income right here, as well as hanging out with his command center up here. And so Markco moving in with my forces, going to be trying to take them out, just try to deal the final blow. They do not have any upgrades. I have 1-1 on my ground units. These Immortals in the back need to get up front to do the damage they need, though. They're shooting Zerglings, not a great spot. Want to blink behind the Immortals with the Stalkers, but doesn't realize that Immortals are amazing. And so now the Immortals are going to clean this up, but could have saved a couple Stalkers, but not a big deal. I mean, these Immortals are going to absolutely decimate. Stalkers now getting picked off by these Banshees. Markco paying attention probably elsewhere, probably to these Hellions or to his actual income. Looks like he is warping in units, going to set up a hotkey on these warp gates. Getting a bunch of Stalkers. They do have blink, and is going to roast away this expansion with those Hellions. All the units clumping up as they run through the mineral line, and those Hellions absolutely decimating those units. Siege tanks up on the high ground. A couple Hellions did get so many kills. 5 kills in this guy. I don't know how many the others got. Really big deal. And let's see the units lost tab right now. I am still at the highest with 11,000 minerals lost. Markco at 8,000. Teal at 9,400. And looks like purple is at 99. Almost 1,000 there. Or excuse me, almost at 100,000, right? No, 10,000. Yeah, there you go. And Markco, you know, has his doesn't want anyone to get these extractors. These are his extractors. No one will get them. And now finally moving his command center out. Is using those warp gates to make those Stalkers. Couple things here to heal the biological units in this army. Not much there, but that's okay. Hellions now coming in. Might be picking up these Hellions and dropping them in here. Reaper coming out. This siege tank is here to deal with anything coming through here, but nothing as of yet. And now doing a major push on the front. These Stalkers and an Immortal and a couple Hellions hanging out here. All these fresh mules that just got dropped are going to go down. This orbital command is going to die. And a couple siege tanks up here. Banshees hanging out over here. Coming back around. Going to deal with this. Did pick off this stuff with his Banshees. And now the cloaked Banshees coming out. Going to try to deal with these units. But Markco does have the scan. Is going to be shooting back at these Banshees. And these are 1-1 Stalkers versus 0-0 Banshees. So it is a pretty fair trade right now. As long as these Stalkers are shooting. It looks like Banshee's range is 6, and as is the Stalkers, but Banshees can clump up very nicely to get all their attacks in at once, while Stalkers do not have that advantage. And so the Stalkers look like they're going to be cleaned up here as they retreat. A single Immortal now hanging out here. Banshees coming out. A couple Zerglings running around. This Immortal waddling back his way back to base as the Zerglings and Banshees just hanging out here. Looks like Wise Mike is getting an expansion down here. Got his drones all set up, ready to start harvesting. And a couple Zerglings coming out to deal with this Immortal. Immortal needs to stop. Immortal, shoot, fight, Immortal, fight. You need to fight. Oh, there he goes. He's fighting, but he's not. Looks like he's going to get a couple kills. He's going to die a Mentor. Nothing more. And so the Banshee's coming in here to deal with this. Killed this expansion. How is Markco doing on the money, though? He's got 1,300 minerals, almost 1,337 minerals. And so not too worried about that. Does have this expansion going with full saturation. Has mules on this expansion, and still has his minerals in his main base, so not too bad. These guys, on the other hand, are stuck on absolutely nothing. Purple is not mining anywhere. He has this orbital command, but has not dropped any mules. There are a couple mules going now. Where does he keep getting these orbital commands from? And it looks like Wise Mike is the only person with minerals mining, really, other than myself, but I'm not in this game. Markco is using my minerals. And so a couple DTs and Stalkers coming in here to clean up the main. Seeing these units, the DTs coming in here to just wreak havoc. I love DTs. An observer up there to detect stuff. A scan does go down. And now the observer coming over to shoot these Banshees down. Stalker's blinking away from the Zerglings. Hellions gonna clean up those Zerglings, and the Banshees now gonna go down to the Stalkers. And the two players saying GG, so that's GG. GG. All right. So leave the game. GG. Yeah. He said GG. Yeah. All right. All right, Purple. All right. How many workers do you have? You have 3. They're hanging out somewhere. There's 1, 2. There's 3. Okay. GG. Alright, gonna fly the orbital command away. Alright. Alright. A couple DTs and Stalkers coming in here. GG. Alright. GG. Apologies for that. That was Skype attacking me. Should set that on busy. Alright, so GG. 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 Alright, couple Dark Templar hanging out. Oh, and I still gotta set myself to busy here because I am getting calls busy. There we go. So this guy trying to float all his stuff down here, and Markco saying, "You guys GG'd. Where is it? Come on." So there's a couple DTs coming down, DTs, and they are gonna find the base because of Purple leading Markco right to the bottom. And so these DTs are in here. And what is he gonna do? Is he gonna get detection? Oh, he needs a layer for detection, and he's like, there's the GG from Wise Mike, GG, and Purple leaves, and Wise Mike leaves. And Markco saying to no one, "Nice GG early, fag." Booyah! That's how you play the game. Stay classy, brothers.